Hello, St. Patrick's and friends of St. Patrick's. I hope you're having a good week. We lost power this morning. I'm sure some of you are dealing with, probably all of you dealing with something with respect to these storms. I hope you're all safe. Never hesitate to reach out if you need some help. That's what we're here for. This Sunday, we've moved beyond those special 3 Sundays called the Triduum, where we celebrate Ascension Day and Pentecost and Trinity Sunday, and we're in this long period of what we call normal time. And we're going to spend some time over the next few months going through Old Testament passages and Old Testament concepts. We haven't done this for a while, and I thought, what a better place to start than this Sunday when Jesus brings up the Sabbath. Now, I know it's the Gospel of Mark that we're in on Sunday, but he's talking about the Sabbath and how he's Lord of the Sabbath and how the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But I think it has a lot to do with the order of laws and rules and regulations that God gives to his people for good reasons. But let me give you an example that I'll also share on Sunday, but just an illustration. Imagine for a moment that you got in the car with your pastor and he just runs these red lights. He comes up to a red light, casually looks about himself, and then just keeps on going. The law doesn't apply to him. I imagine all of you would have something to say about that and would think, what is he doing to have this kind of audacity to just break the law like that? Does he think he's above it all, right? That's somewhat like what the Sabbath is, not a traffic law. It was actually bigger than that. We'll talk about it on Sunday. But Jesus would break these laws. Now, let's take that illustration again and imagine, it's the middle of the night. And not only are you in the car and the pastor in the car running red lights, but there's somebody else in the car who's severely injured, who requires medical attention immediately. Not only would you not be alarmed that your pastor was running the red lights, you might gently encourage him to just go. Why? Because there's a greater law at work, where the life of the individual and what you do to help that individual is much more important than a traffic law. And those traffic laws, of course, were made for men and women and children, and not the reverse. So I thought it was helpful when I was thinking about that. In particular circumstances, things shift. Now, that's not all that's happening in the Gospel of Mark, and there's more to it there. And to some degree, you have to understand how important the Sabbath was in the life of the church, the Old Testament church, Israel, otherwise known as. So anyway, a lot to talk about. And I think these Old Testament and ancient rules of life are fascinating. And they give us a better insight into the gospel as a whole and who Jesus is and what he's most concerned about with you and me. Anyway, I do hope you're all safe. I hope you're here this coming Sunday to dive into Mark chapter 2. And we're in this new season of summer and ordinary time. And we're going to dive into some very ordinary but important things in the Old Testament. We're praying for you guys. Pray for us. We missed staff meeting, but we're still getting together over the phone. So hope you're well too. And we'll see you this Sunday, hopefully. God bless you all. Bye-bye.